Anywhere people are advertising, Omneky looks at that data and uses a technology called computer vision, which is just the ability of a computer to see what's in a creative and tag it, the images, the colors, the length of video, the value props. Omneky looks at that, does analysis, and figures out why people are clicking or buying your product. And then we use generative AI from the open source companies, plus what we're building in-house.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Matt Swalley. He's the co-founder and chief business officer at Omneky. Matt, welcome to the show.
Hi, Kelsey. Thank you so much for having me. Hi to all the Business Ninja listeners out there.
Great to have you. Excited to talk today. So Matt, why don't you get started and just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So as you mentioned, I'm a co-founder and chief business officer of Omneky. We are the most exciting artificial intelligence powered generative advertising company out there. And a little bit about me is I've done a lot of different things in the past. I joined Omneky from a Fortune 10 company, AT&T. I started out my early days carrying a bag, which is an interesting phrase now because everyone's in sales now is taking Zoom calls, so people don't carry a bag around anymore. I was just thinking about this before. I met with thousands of customers, making tons of cold calls in my early days, learning how to ask questions to help generate sales. And then I moved all around the country, started out in the Midwest, lived in Atlanta, Los Angeles, Dallas, finishing up my time at AT&T's headquarters, where I was a chief of staff for the global business officer that ran all the multinational relationships at AT&T. I got some really big experience doing P&L, leading teams across the entire world. And then I made this goal of getting into corporate strategy, and I got my MBA during that time. And corporate strategy is what led me to Omneky, really. I got the opportunity to figure out and look into what's the next wave of technology that you could catch that will be the next billion-dollar or trillion-dollar technology. And I was doing a lot of research on early-stage startups, and I met the founder, Hikari Senju, who's a Harvard computer science grad during this time with the best vision ever. He's such a great visionary and leader. Met him and joined Omneky as employee number 3. And now we have close to 70 employees and are growing very, very fast and using generative AI to help our customers grow.
Wow, that's really fascinating. So it sounds like, kind of all of your experience has led you to be in the position you are at Omneky, kind of embracing, the new world of AI. It sounds like you guys were a little bit ahead of the trend. So why don't you talk to me a little bit more about Omneky?
Sure. So Hikari had that vision back in the late 2010s. He knew like data and analytics was gonna get good enough that you could start generating creative with it. Yeah. And so AI really just got good from the generative standpoint with images like last year. So it's just this explosion of new capabilities and everyone's building on top of it. There's all these new open source technologies like OpenAI's ChatGPT and soon to be GPT-4. Any day now, they're about to announce it. Omneky uses these technologies plus data from the advertising platforms, Meta, Google, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter. Anywhere people are advertising, Omneky looks at that data and uses a technology called computer vision, which is just the ability of a computer to see what's in a creative and tag it, the images, the colors, the length of video, the value props. Omneky looks at that, does analysis, and figures out why people are clicking or buying your product. And then we use generative AI from the open source companies, plus what we're building in-house. We have some of the best data scientists in the world on our team. And then we move really, really fast to streamline that process for our customers and make it so easy for them to grow their company as clicking the button approve.
Wow. Okay. So that's really interesting. So talk to me a little bit more about, it. Like I said, it sounds like he was ahead of this vision. You're using historical data. Talk to me a little bit more about what that process looks like.
Sure. So when Omneky onboards a new customer, the first thing we do is we connect into the advertising data. Some of our customers don't have it. That's okay. There's a little bit of a learning process for the first couple of weeks. But with that data, you're able to start to pull out insights for different audiences or different verticals. Why are people clicking? We look at the value prop. What is the ideal customer profile? what is the main body text or headline text that's generating the most clicks or the most sales farther down the funnel. We look at that data, then we start generating lots of creative that has those criteria in it. And it's all real time because the platforms are becoming more and more restricted for targeting. That personal information is locked up in a box for Meta. They don't want to share that. They can't share it. So creative is becoming the number one lever for distribution. The platforms recognize what's in a creative, and if they know, Kelsey, if you like something, they're going to show you something that you like. And so you have to fuel the platforms with enough creative that it's distributed more effectively. And so it's kind of a reverse where targeting used to be so structured and you're able to really get granular with targeting, where they're removing that capability. And now creative is the targeting because it recognizes what's in the creative and it distributes it. And that's the problem Omneky is solving. We're helping teams have enough creative in a fast way that's backed by data.
Do you think it's that it's this creative and the platforms that really differentiates you from your competition?
Yes. Yeah. So we're the only ones out there that take it end to end, from the data and analytics to actually using generative AI to create beautiful ads that the customer can review on our dashboard and control their brand. One of the biggest issues with AI is there's bias, and there's there's a lot of different things that people are having challenges with. I know Bing had the one thing that they were saying, the AI was talking with an attitude and things like that, right? So there's lots of things you got to watch out for. And since we have a human team also that helps review that, and then ultimately the customer has to review everything on our dashboard before it's approved. Once they review it and they approve it, it automatically goes into the platforms. But you have to have that extra layer still with a human in the loop.
Interesting. And kind of talking about who your clients are to that, what they approve. So it sounds like one of the steps for them is approving, the content. Talk to me a little bit about, before we talk about, who the client is, talk to me a little bit about what that onboarding process looks like.
Sure. So when we onboard a new customer, it's a very streamlined approach. It used to take companies months to have a first set of creative and launch. It takes us a couple of days. So we onboard a new customer, we connect into the advertising platforms. If you have historical data, we get immediate insights into why people are buying your product. And then we get access to your brand assets, your fonts, your logos, any raw assets you want us to work with. We hold a 45-minute onboarding session to help understand your ideal customer profile, what you believe is your value prop and everything. And then we immediately start generating creative. So within 3 business days, typically, we will deliver a first set of creative that the customer will review. They type in any notes on our dashboard. You can actually annotate on videos directly on our dashboard. And then once they click approve, they're immediately launched. So we start collecting the data right after their launch from the advertising platforms and then delivering new cadence of creative every week.
Wow. So it sounds like, you've been able to scale so successfully. It sounds like the computer, using the AI has also really opened up the doors for you to be able to take on so many new clients, to be able to keep up without using AI, rather than, you still use the human touch, but AI before everything.
That's right. Yeah. And it continues to get better. And that's the really amazing thing is, like, before, creators had to go imagine it on like a canvas or a Canva and design it out and write the copy or the storyboard. Now you can use these tools, develop the storyboard, go use generative AI as either a full ad or concept testing. It's great for concept testing. Or take an e-commerce product that's already a image of it, and you can go place it in any background in any place, or put it on a person with a click of a button. And that's really where we're seeing huge streamlines, less production costs. Creative teams are bottlenecked. They're working on brand assets, organic marketing. We focus on paid, so we can be that direct plug into their team, generate tons of creative. And then the other challenge with in-house teams, usually their expertise is on a specific platform or two. Like, they might know Meta and Google, which was 60% of the market. It's getting down to 50% now, which is another value prop for Omneky. Is people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. And now you have to follow your customers to all the different platforms. Like, if Kelsey likes sports, we want to follow you to a website that's sports related and help show you an ad that we know will help lead to a sale. Or TikTok or Reddit or Quora or connected television. We can help our customers go to any of those platforms in a very short period of time.
Wow. So you truly can reach any platform then.
That's right. We're trying to build out integrations. That's one of the other major values of Omneky is we're building out integrations with all the emerging channels, even like gaming ads. Gaming ads are continually growing where you can go show an ad when you're playing your favorite video game.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Holy cow. So talking a little bit about the different integrations that you're able to, utilize, pivot a little bit to me and talk about, who those clients are, that who you're able to assist with the creatives.
Sure. So we deal with a number of different customer profiles within a business. So we deal with a chief marketing officer in our larger companies, a chief marketing officer, a growth marketer, a digital marketing team, where we're just a plug into their team. With smaller companies, we can work with a CEO and a founder. If you're an early stage startup and you have a lean team, we can get you up and running within a couple of days. And with enterprise, we can plug into really a various different of teams, like their growth marketing team and everything.
Yeah. So it sounds like, different sizes, you're able to adapt, work with it. Are there trends in different industries that you see Omneky working with more than others?
Yeah. So with larger companies, we are their creative enabler. So we're doing mainly creative and analytics. We provide creative insights and the value prop of why people are buying, and then generate tons of creative, but we don't take it outside of we don't do the management aspect of it. They have teams in-house that would go do the actual media buying for each platform. With our mid-size customers and smaller customers, we can be that direct plug into the team where we're doing analytics, providing key performance indicators, creative insights, generating creative, and then actually doing the media buying within each platform for the customer.
Wow. I didn't realize media buying was also, something that you were able to assist with.
Yeah, we're doing that with about 50% of our customers.
Wow, it's a fantastic offering because it sounds like, the smaller customers, they don't have the bandwidth or maybe necessarily the understanding and the knowledge to be able to make smart purchases.
That's right.
Yeah. So would you say one of the biggest challenges that your customers have before they start working with Omneky is the lack of analytics, like being able to analyze the data and, produce those creatives? What would you say the biggest challenge for your customers is?
So every customer has issues with analytics. They could be using a lot of different attribution platforms, but they sometimes don't know that creative analytics side of it. Like, what is the value prop or the length of the video that's performing the best, or the hook on the headline or primary text. So that's usually a value add to any customer. But then really it's the creative aspect where our customers find the biggest value. Like, they don't have the teams that can just continually be working on creative optimization. I think the average length of an asset today, lifetime of an asset, is like 6 weeks at the max, and sometimes a couple of weeks. So you have to constantly be changing creative out because the algorithms of the platforms are changing. And if you aren't doing that, your results will suffer.
Interesting. What would you say the biggest misconception about your industry and your field is? Is it that, that 6 week mark, or talk to me a little bit about that?
I would say the biggest misconception right now is that people's jobs will not be eliminated. I'd like to talk on that because we have creative teams as well. We have long form videos and lots of things. Like, it still takes human touch points today. Video and AI it's getting to a place where even with GPT-4 supposedly, but by next year they'll have that. But the companies that are going to thrive right now are using innovation within their company to figure out how to use these tools and adapt to their roles. If you are not adapting to these new roles and learning the new technologies, you'll be left behind. So people will not lose their jobs. They're just going to have to reskill so fast right now that you have to be prioritizing every day on how does our company use some of these tools to increase efficiencies.
Yeah. And as a leader within Omneky, is that why you incorporate that human touch still?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things you have to learn on top of it. So our team is constantly testing every new tool that comes out and then also building, because each one of those potentially increases efficiencies for not only Omneky internally, but also we can build it into our technology. So we're constantly, the beauty of a startup coming from a large company is we can integrate a technology or build one within days. Like, I remember when Stability AI opened an integration back last year, early image generation capability. And we we built out the technology on our platform in a period of like 48 hours. So some of these moves would take large corporations like weeks to do or months, and we can do it so quickly. And that's what's the beauty of innovative thinking and constantly testing and building while you're in the air as a company.
Yeah. And I imagine too, creative blocks are a very real thing. So being able to capitalize on, using this generative AI to, still include that human touch, to be able to add that, but being able to, take that lift off of some people and be able to accomplish more work in a shorter amount of time is huge.
Kelsey, that is a great thing. And that was one thing I forgot to mention is, so verticals, companies have a lot of different ideal customer profiles across verticals. Many times they are doing more general creatives for their entire business. What is your value prop as a business? Well, generative AI allows you to move very agilely and create digital advertisements personalized for each of those firmographics. So if you have retail or airlines as a target customer, you can do creatives that actually resonate with each one of those customers. It's going to really improve your close ratio.
That's fantastic. That's great. So Matt, as you and I start to wrap up this conversation, where can people go to learn more information about Omneky?
Yeah, so you can go to www.omneky.com, ONNEKY.com. You can schedule a demo with our demo button and put a note next to your business name that you heard it on Business Ninjas. You can connect with me on LinkedIn at Matt Swalley at LinkedIn, or you can send me an email at matt@omneky.com, OMNEKY.com.
That's fantastic. Awesome, Matt. Well, like I said, as we wrap up this conversation, is there anything that you want to leave our listeners with, either, about AI in general, about the industry, about generative AI, creative, anything you want to leave our listeners with?
I can only say is test the capabilities every day. Learn from the crowd. It's moving so fast right now. There are millions of people. It's the fastest growing technology ever right now. With the adoption of OpenAI's products, even it was proven the fastest growing one. Use them, learn from the crowd, develop them into your systems. Do not be left behind.
That's great. That's a great little tidbit. And it sounds like Omneky has been able to be one ahead of the wave, continue to be on the wave, and really producing great content for its clients.
And last thing, come to Omneky, check us out. We will help your company grow.
There we go. Awesome. Great plug. Well, Matt, this has been a great conversation. I appreciate you breaking down everything that Omneky does, the processes, and how you're able to support your clients as best as possible. I really appreciate you being on Business Ninjas today.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. It's been a pleasure.